From the ancient Silk Road to today's global supply chains, tariffs have shaped the course of history. They've funded empires, sparked revolutions, and defined the way nations trade. But what are tariffs, and how have they evolved over time? Let's explore the story of tariffs from their ancient origins to their modern-day impact. A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on imported or exported goods. The primary goal is to either raise revenue or protect domestic industries by making foreign products more expensive. Historically, tariffs have been a vital source of national income, at times contributing a substantial portion of a country's revenue. For example, during the Roman Empire, tariffs and trade taxes accounted for up to 80% of state income, whereas today they make up a much smaller fraction, with modern economies relying more on income and corporate taxes. This shift has fundamentally changed how governments generate revenue and how economies function. Tariffs are as old as trade itself. The Roman Empire imposed port duties and custom taxes on imports, ensuring revenue for military conquests. The Byzantine Empire continued this practice, taxing goods along the Silk Road to control trade. While these taxes functioned similarly to modern tariffs, they were often more focused on revenue collection rather than protecting domestic industries. In medieval Europe, tariffs were frequently imposed at city gates, ensuring that local rulers profited from passing merchants. The Hanseatic League, a powerful trading alliance in Northern Europe, controlled trade by levying tariffs on non-members, strengthening its monopoly. For the average citizen, tariffs could be a double-edged sword. Higher import taxes meant local goods were sometimes cheaper, encouraging domestic production, but it also meant fewer choices and potentially higher prices. Merchants bore the brunt of these taxes, which were often passed on to consumers in the form of increased prices on everyday goods such as grain, wool, or spices. Governments have historically imposed tariffs for three main reasons: generating revenue, protecting domestic industries, and gaining political leverage. Before income taxes, tariffs were a primary way to fund armies, infrastructure, and expansion. Protectionism aimed to shield local producers, like England's Navigation Acts, which restricted foreign shipping to benefit English merchants. Tariffs have also been used as political tools, punishing rival nations and forcing negotiations. For instance, in the 18th century, Britain used tariffs to weaken colonial economies while maintaining its own dominance. For common people in the colonies, these tariffs often meant economic hardship. American colonists, for example, faced increased costs on manufactured goods from Britain, contributing heavily to economic resentment that played a role in sparking the American Revolution. Tariffs have produced both successes and failures. The U.S. tariff of 1816 helped American industry flourish by reducing dependence on British goods. However, the infamous Smoot-Hawley Tariff of 1930 backfired, triggering international trade retaliation and worsening the Great Depression. More recently, the U.S. China trade war of the 21st century demonstrated how tariffs can have mixed results, protecting some industries while burdening others with higher costs. While tariffs have helped domestic businesses, they often come at a cost. In the Great Depression, higher prices on imports hurt ordinary Americans as consumer goods became more expensive. Today, tariffs remain a key tool in global economics. Nations use them to protect domestic jobs, retaliate against unfair trade practices, or strengthen their economies. However, as global supply chains have become more interconnected, tariffs can have unintended consequences. A tariff placed on Chinese electronics, for instance, might raise the costs for American tech companies that rely on these components. Tariffs have been with us for centuries, evolving from simple tolls on trade routes to complex economic instruments. Whether they succeed or fail depends entirely on their implementation and context. Understanding their history helps us better navigate today's economic challenges. As global trade continues to evolve, the role of tariffs will remain a crucial part of economic policy for decades to come.